these right here are the 4 iPhone 14s. Starting off with the iPhone 14 Pro Max. This phone is really beautiful. It looks kind of like the iPhone 13 Pro Max, the only visible difference being the dynamic island over there, which serves as a shape-shifting hub for key iPhone alerts. But then other than that, it looks like an iPhone 13. Still very beautiful though. The next phone here on this list, if I can just pop this in, the next phone on here on this list is the iPhone 14 Pro. It also has a dynamic island, but it's a bit smaller than the dynamic island on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. This is also a bit smaller than the iPhone 14 Pro Max, the phone overall in general, but I like how it fits in your hand, so it gets bonus points for that, because the iPhone 14 Pro Max is like big. So this is a bit smaller. It's a Pro, so yes, it has to be a bit smaller, but then it fits in your hand and you still get those 3 cameras. So I feel like it's a win-win situation that it's smaller. And then we have the new one that they released this generation with the iPhone 14. This is the iPhone 14 Plus. If you can remember, it used to be iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Pro, iPhone 14 Pro Max, and then iPhone 14 Mini. So they dropped the Mini and added the Plus. The Plus, as you can see, instead of it being a Mini, it is bigger than the iPhone 14 Pro. I think it is the same size. I haven't held them side by side in comparison, but it is big, but it does not have the dynamic island, which is kind of a lose for me. And then we have the normal iPhone 14. This one does not appear to be charged and it does not turn on, but it is also small, just like the iPhone 14 Pro, but it only has 2 cameras, which is kind of, it's basically iPhone 14 Pro with 2 cameras, because they're small, they're the same size. But then these are the 4 iPhone 14s that we got. Although so far I can already tell I don't like the Plus because it doesn't have a dynamic island.
So the iPhone 14 Pro Max, right, which I also have, by the way, in case any of you guys are wondering. So the iPhone 14 Pro Max, the 2 interesting features about it is one, the dynamic island, right? It is the one that introduced dynamic island to iPhone, although it was only available on the Pro Max, but I'm pretty sure now on the 15, which is the only one I don't have. I'm going to get the 16, mark my words, but I'm pretty sure in the 15, the dynamic island was available in base models as well. But iPhone 14 Pro Max was the one that introduced the dynamic island. In case you don't know what a dynamic island is, it's basically like when you're holding your iPhone, but you see when you're holding your iPhone and then the notch there is sort of on the screen right now, and it's alive. It moves when you get notifications. That thing shows the notification, it's alive. It's no longer like a bezel anymore. It's no longer a part of the bezel. It's alive on the screen and it moves around. You can touch it, you can set it to do different stuff, and that's pretty cool. So this is the iPhone 14. As you can see, this one is black. It looks good. It's a Pro Max model. Here's what it looks like from the front. It is basically, if I put this side to side of the iPhone 14, you're not going to, the iPhone 13, you're not going to see a difference. I haven't personally held an iPhone 15, but based on what they're saying about titanium, maybe you'll see the difference. The only difference with the iPhone 15 is that you're going to notice that this, you see this little thing here, is no longer going to be like a switch. It's going to be like, an action button. But other than that, if you put it side by side with the iPhone 13, you're not going to notice it. But let's talk about the dynamic island. See, right now I'm playing a random song. I'm gonna turn it down because of copyright, but right now I'm playing a random song. Say, I don't have to go into Apple Music to check the song that I'm playing. I can click the dynamic island and it will take me to the song and show me what's next, all that stuff. Or I would just hold it down here and then the dynamic island shows me everything. Same happens when you get a notification. If a notification was to just pop up right now, it would open like this, tell me the message, show me who it is, all that type of stuff. So there's a lot of things that you can do with the dynamic island. But that's basically the iPhone 14. So it came with that, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max also introduced the always on display. See, the iPhone 13 below did not have always on. Basically always on is self-explanatory, the phone doesn't turn off, but it basically is not technically. It's not, you see how when your phone is on, you can click it, do all that stuff and everything like that. So always on display, when you put your phone down, or when you press the power button, it doesn't turn off. Basically what you see is a dark background and the time and your messages. And actually it doesn't chow battery, which is actually pretty cool. So iPhone 14 Pro Max introduced the dynamic island as well as the always on display. So that's pretty cool. Kudos to you, iPhone 14 Pro Max. Thank you guys so much for watching that video. if you want more content like that, where I'm talking about iPhones, make sure to treat this video well. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to share, comment if you are at it, and then I will give you more videos like this. But now, until further ado, little man Jay will see you on the next one.